Welcome. In this presentation, we're going to go over why we call our service a Workspace as a Service, or WaaS, as opposed to other names like VDI or DaaS, Desktop as a Service. We'll start with a brief explanation of DaaS. This could be a do-it-yourself DaaS solution with RDS or Citrix. You could go to AWS and buy their DaaS solution for something like 20 bucks. But once you've got that deployed, what you have is an empty shell running Windows with nothing else on it. The first thing you're going to have to figure out is implementing Active Directory. You're going to have to put up the services or the servers that are required to run that. You'll likely want to make them redundant. When you implement a WaaS solution, you don't have to deal with that. Our WaaS solution includes redundant Active Directory, pre-configured and included. There's no extra server to set up. There's no extra configuration to do. The next thing you're going to have to do if you're running a DaaS environment is figure out who and how and when you're going to patch it. The OS, the applications, and often the RDS, Citrix, VMware layers to keep everything going. In a WaaS environment, all of that's handled. We fully manage the Windows patching, the app updates, the VMware layers, and everything between you and the fully working cloud workspace. Next, you're going to have to deal with security. In a DaaS environment, you're going to be responsible for antivirus, malware, firewalls, all that other stuff. Configuring, setting up, maintaining. With the CloudJumper WaaS solution, security is built in. Antivirus, anti-malware, we manage the firewalls. All of that is included and built into our service offering. The same is true of backup and disaster recovery. In your DaaS scenario, how are we going to do backups? Where are they going to go? Are they going to be replicated off-site? Who's going to manage that? How's that going to add cost? All those things are things you have to figure out. In our solution, it's included. Fully implemented backup policy with off-site replication included. You don't have to deal with it. If you need a custom schedule, we can implement that as well. We just need to know your requirements. The next thing you're going to have to figure out, and this is where it gets a little bit more complex, is you're going to have to test every application that you want to deploy in this multi-tenant terminal server environment. Well, that takes time, that takes experience, and that takes specialized skills. With CloudJumper, it's included. We've got a stack of 2,500 certified applications. We'll install them. Many of them have been automated. We'll update them. And if there's problems, we will troubleshoot them. So we've got a vast amount of experience in this space and can leverage that for your clients included out of the gate. Another layer to the application challenge is making sure you can expose the appropriate applications to the appropriate users. In a DaaS environment, that's up to you. You're going to have to go mess with GPOs or user permissions or redirects or things like that to get it to work like a normal desktop environment with the applications that specific user wants to have. That again is included with the CloudJumper DaaS solution. We've got automation behind the scenes that backs up the web UI you are given access to. This allows you to manage who has access to which apps in real time from a click and select web interface. Another thing you're going to have to deal with in DaaS, if you're going to do it securely, is to put up RDS gateways, ideally redundant ones, to manage the encryption and the relay of communication from the public internet, which is full of bad guys, into your secure walled-off garden that you're creating. That, again, is included with CloudJumper. Our service, out of the gate, includes redundant, patched, secured RDS gateways that are pre-configured. You don't have to deal with it. It's not only an RDS gateway, there's also an HTML5 gateway, so if you're in a web browser, you can connect to your desktop from anywhere in the world. One of the things we've found when setting up or doing a build-your-own DaaS solution, it takes about 7 different high-end IT specialists, things like network and server and firewall and security and all these other things, these experts. Plus, you have to still run an advanced help desk that includes tiers 2, 3, 4, and so on. In order to be able to deliver even your first client, all of those employees have to be, or all of those skill sets have to be trained up and hired and paid for before you can adequately support your first client. That is also included in CloudJumper. So we leverage our team of 20 years of experience doing this stuff to fill those 7 distinct roles, as well as to provide Tier 2 and above support. All of that is included in our offering, so you don't have to make those huge labor investments, personnel investments, in order to start down the road of selling cloud desktops to your clients. It ties in with the next one. If you're building your own DaaS environment, there is a huge investment up front, which adds a lot of risk. So maybe you're going to get IaaS from a vendor, so you don't have to buy a bunch of hardware. But you still need to train up all your people. You still need to spend the time to build those out, to test them, to be sure they are ready for your clients before you can go out and market it and sell it and then start collecting money on it. So that is a huge upfront risk and upfront cost that you have to deal with. With CloudJumper, you don't experience that. We already have all of the stuff built out. Our team is already trained up and ready to go. You can start selling without any IaaS or engineering or labor investments out of the gate. You'll need a salesperson, you'll need your existing Tier 1 help desks and some project work to migrate the data into our environment. But beyond that, you don't have to have specialized training and skills in-house in order to sell this today. With the DaaS environment, let's assume that you've done all these things. You've done them all really well, including hiring the 7 expensive IT folks that you need, and you started selling. All of the things we've just talked about become more and more complex the more you scale. The number of gateways, the number of Active Directory sessions, how much patching and apps, and the unique needs of those hundreds or thousands of applications that your various clients need, all of that stuff becomes more and more complex with scale. With CloudJumper, we've handled it. We've got an easy web administration portal. It maintains simplicity while also giving you power. As a CloudJumper partner, you maintain local admin credentials to all of your customers' devices. So if needed, you can get into those machines and do what you need to do. This allows you to scale from 10 to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 endpoints or end users without adding to the complexity. And so when you tie all of this together, what you see is you've got our WaaS solution, Workspace as a Service, which is a fully functional, ready to market, ready to deliver product, not a bunch of different pieces that you need to assemble to get to a place where you can support your clients. And that's the main difference between WaaS and DaaS, and why we think doing it yourself and building it yourself is not the best way to go.